Hi everyone, welcome back to Gracie May's Tarot. So today we're going to be looking at what will your home life be like with your future spouse after you get married. So what will life after marriage look like? What will your home life be like? Now we won't be covering like what your actual house is going to look like. That's going to be a different reading. I'm going to do like a future, what your future house look like reading. I don't know when that will upload, but that is planned. But anyway, we have three groups to choose from. So we've got pile 1 over here with the magnolia flowers. Make sure that like stands up correctly. For pile 2, we have this hair clip. I don't know how to describe that. I guess it's a gold color. And then for pile 3, we have these pretty white flowers. So take a moment, pause the video, meditate on the groups if you need to. As always, the timestamps are listed below in the description box. Also, for those of you who are curious, this is just a picture of my cat, Gracie. I named this channel after her, and so she's like the little mascot. This will be her legacy. But anyways, yeah, so I hope that you all enjoyed this reading. Also, comment down below in the description box if you have any like video ideas, anything that you would like me to film. I have so many videos planned. I have so many thumbnails like pre-made so I won't forget ideas, but I'm always open to suggestions and I love to see feedback in the comments. So yeah, without further ado, I will see you in your reading. Alright, on my pile 1s who chose the magnolia flower, welcome to your reading. So we have the 8 of Cups, we have the 6 of Cups, we have Justice, and we have the Hanged Fae or the Hanged Man. So I would like to start with this 8 of Cups. For many of you, your future spouse is going to be such a complete departure from all of your other past romantic relationships. Even for some of you, it goes even deeper than that. Your future spouse is someone who is the first person to really give you a fair and balanced connection, right? And I say give to you, but really it's a sharing, right? It's the first like equal give and take relationship that you've ever had. For some of you, like you've even had friendships and family members where you felt like everything was very imbalanced. You know, you had to give so much and you got very little in return. And so I'm just getting this overall idea of healing here with the 8 of Cups. So once you get married to your future spouse, it sort of solidifies this idea that this is a new start, this is a fresh start, this is a new chapter. You're sort of closing the book on the past. And I think that is so liberating, so healing. It just creates this entire sense of abundance that sort of radiates light over all other areas of your life. You know, everything seems brighter and happier, even if you're struggling in other areas of your life, like your career is not going how you would like it to, or maybe you're trying to conceive and you're struggling with your fertility, you know, if you're a woman or whatever the case may be. With the 8 of Cups though, there's just this idea that you have left behind all that wasn't serving you, you know, in terms of your interpersonal relationships, whether that's family, friends, past romantic partners. You've closed the chapter on this role that you were playing where you were giving so much and getting so little, where you had to sacrifice your wants, your needs for the sake of someone else, you know. It could be that when you were a child, for some of you, like if you went to your caregiver, your parent, and you expressed something to them, the first thing they said to you was, well, have you thought about how the other person feels? You know, maybe they did this, maybe they did that, maybe they were thinking this way. Did you ever think about that? You know, and yeah, it's good to express compassion towards other people, but when you consistently have your own views, your own feelings, your own experiences invalidated, and you're told to always consider the other person, well, that can really debilitate your ego. You know, your ego can exist at a healthy level. You know, everything exists in perfect balance. And so for some of you, your future spouse comes in and it just represents this complete departure from, you know, everything that was holding you back. So I do feel like there's a brightness, there's a lightness here. With all of the yellow flowers, there's just this beautiful sense of like what was heavy has been shed. You know, it's no longer there, it's no longer in your life. And so again, with the Justice card, everything is very fair, balanced, and equal. So what does this mean in terms of your home life? Well, if you think of practicalities of like who is going to wash the dishes, who is going to cook meals, who is going to take the trash out, make the bed, do the laundry, everything here is very fair and balanced. I'm kind of getting the sense here that like you do the chores that you don't mind doing, and your future spouse does the chores they don't mind doing, and everything sort of balances out naturally. You don't have to sit there and make like a chore chart or something like that. It's just that they help out and you help out, and it just works, it just flows. Everything is very easy. You know, you don't feel like you're the only one who's cleaning all the time or the only one who's cooking. You don't feel overwhelmed. You have a partner who equally shares in responsibilities, you know, practical day-to-day things around the house. Like, to get really specific, this message just came through, it's so odd, but it's nice where your future spouse is the type of person where if they borrow your car or if they use your car for any reason, like they would fill up the gas. Like they would return your car in like perfect condition. You wouldn't find like fast food wrappers on the floor, or there's just this sense of mutual respect here that I think is very nice. You know, like if they moved your seat, they would try to move it back. They would try to like readjust the mirrors how you had it, stuff like that. You know, they would just express respect to you. I think in these very practical day-to-day, like subtle ways, they would express respect towards you in a way that you deeply appreciate. Now, with the Six of Cups here, there's a great sense of nostalgia, right? You know, I think overall your future spouse, if they're not someone that you knew when you were younger, there's someone who makes you feel like a kid again. Because I think for some of you, this message is coming through where you were expected to be an adult at a young age. And that may be like practically, like you were expected to take care of your younger siblings, or you were expected to process emotions and think of other people and give to other people like an adult would. You know, like I said, your ego was never validated in a healthy way. Your emotions were never validated. Your thoughts and your feelings were, you know, always put secondary to the thoughts and feelings of someone else. And so your future spouse comes through and they make you feel like a kid again in a nice way, like a kid where, like I said, you were denied your childhood. So it's very positive. And I think also there's this nurturing aspect here. So in terms of your home life with your future spouse, you're going to be doing really fun things together. You know, like you would have like a Disney movie marathon, or like you would play board games together. There's just this playfulness here, you know, to your home life. Like everything is fun with your future spouse. Everything is very lighthearted. You know, your future spouse is the kind of person who could take a very mundane activity like cooking a meal and make it fun. You know, there's a great deal of partnership here. You know, you could like cook meals together with your future spouse. You know, there's just this sense of enjoyment. And also with the Hanged Fae here, it's a complete change in perspective. I mean, the Eight of Cups and the Hanged Fae, I feel like are like cushioning the sides of like this new fresh energy and what was left behind. You know, the Hanged Fae represents a new perspective. You know, the Hanged Fae is right before the Death card. Death represents transformation. So you know, we have the greatest moments of clarity right before death. You know, like we have this broader, greater perspective. We're so close to spirit. You know, you can look back. You have all the hindsight in the world. You can look back on your life and really see things with great clarity. And so with the Hanged Fae here, there's this fresh perspective that your future spouse provides. You see that there's a completely different way of living. It doesn't have to be so serious. It doesn't have to be so heavy. You know, your future spouse, I think, really reminds you of balance. If you're someone who works a lot and you value a strong work ethic and you're hard on yourself and you criticize yourself and you're always struggling with relaxing, you always feel like you have to be productive, and you really associate your productivity with your self-worth in a way that is really unhealthy, you know, or sometimes just hard on yourself. I mean, just really hard on yourself. Your future spouse comes through and they bring this lightness, this confidence, this easiness to them that really balances you out and really creates this transformation in your daily life. You know, your future spouse will be like, well, okay, so you're laying around on the couch today, okay. Like, you've been working hard all week. Why shouldn't you lay on the couch? Why shouldn't you binge watch your favorite show? Why shouldn't you take some time and read that book you've been wanting to read? Like, why shouldn't you do that? Like, you deserve it. You know, they're very validating towards you. You know, when you get too down and out about yourself, they'll just come in the living room and be like, hey, like, that's okay. Like, you deserve it. Why are you feeling bad that you're taking the day off? Like, let's do something fun. Let's make the most of it. Why not? They show you that having fun and being restful can actually be productive because it safeguards you against burnout, okay? It's good for your mental health. You deserve to take care of yourself. They really teach you that. Okay, let's see what else we have. I love the back of these cards. Okay, so we've got the Three of Fire. I believe this is pronounced calendula. I'm not entirely certain. Regardless, I love all of the orange and yellow. This is just a very cozy, comforting image here. This is the Three of Wands in this deck. I don't know if I said that. And then we have the Ten of Earth or the Ten of Pentacles with horsetail. Okay, so a lot of messages are coming through. All right, we'll start with the Three of Wands here, the Three of Fire. So, I was reading in the guidebook for this one. This is still like a fairly new deck for me. With the Three of Wands, with the calendula, calendula is an herb or a plant that grows with ease. So, the guidebook said that you can plant this and you will have it in your garden for years to come without any effort upon like making sure it continues to grow. It just grows with ease. And so if we apply this to your home life, if you put a bit of effort into this relationship, because your partner is putting in equal effort back, everything just flows with ease. Everything is very easy with you two. You both are putting in effort, so it doesn't feel tiring. It doesn't feel like another responsibility upon all of your other responsibilities. And I feel like there's a lot of creativity here, a lot of passion, a lot of new adventures. If you're a home buddy, your future spouse really gets you out of the house. You know, they open up you to new experiences and new activities, new hobbies, new passions. I mean, your future spouse is the kind of person to come in the room and be like, hey, like, let's go on this like trail I read about on this travel blog, or I saw that there's this event at this museum, like, let's go. Or, hey, let's go axe throwing today. Like, they just introduce you to all these new events and people and activities, and they just ignite this creativity in you because they open you up to new experiences. Also, obviously, there's a lot of physical passion with the Three of Fire here. Yeah, there's just a lot of room for creativity. For those of you who are hoping to have children with your future spouse, this is also signaling that to me, because the idea that with ease you could plant seeds and you would have this like ongoing abundance, like I would think that for those of you who want to have children with your future spouse, this is showing that it wouldn't be difficult to do so. Like, yeah, I think that's all I would say about that. But yes. And then here with the Ten of Earth, the Ten of Pentacles, you two are going to be very financially secure together. I don't see finances being a problem. And I think that's also because you both are so equally hardworking. You know, even if you were the one who, you know, took care of the domestic side and you didn't work outside of the home, like your work in the home allows your future spouse to put in even greater effort into their career. So either way, whether you're both working outside of the home, or like one of you takes care of the domestic side and another person like goes out and earns money, regardless, you both are putting in equal effort in some capacity, and that creates a lot of abundance. So the thing with horsetail too, the guidebook was saying that it acts as a natural fertilizer. So like not only are you having all of this growth with the horsetail, but it's also nurturing other things in the garden, so to speak. So with it being a natural fertilizer, it's like with you guys working so hard and having all of this financial abundance coming in, that allows other areas of your relationship, your home life, to flow easily. You know, there's no arguments about money, there's no scarcity mindset, you know, because you have this financial security. You're able to spend money to go out and do fun things on the weekends, or you're able to spend money if you do have children on, you know, getting them things that they need, whether that's like tutoring services, toys, I don't know, whatever it is for your children. That abundance is there. Whatever you need is there. And so that allows, again, this relationship to flow with ease, you know, because money is a big thing that people argue about, and I'm not seeing any evidence here with the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Earth, the horsetail. There's no evidence here that you all will be struggling with money. Yeah, this is an abundant connection for sure. Okay, let's see what else we have. So we've got communication with the P's, and we have healing. Yes, to me the healing card is really echoing that 8 of Cups and the Hanged Fae that we talked about initially. This connection, this marriage is very healing, very nurturing, because it's fair and balanced with the Justice card. You know, it really is allowing you to make peace with your past. I mean, this is the sort of marriage where it kind of makes you feel like everything you experienced up until this point was worth it, because it led you to this person, and it allowed you to be the best version of yourself for this person. It allowed this perfect, well, as perfect can be, but it allowed this fair and balanced union to come to fruition. You know, there's a big theme here of healing, of growth, of integration of the past, and healthy release, I think. And with communication, you two communicate so well. I mean, we had the Justice card to begin with, so that's Libra. And anytime I think of air signs, even if it's not Gemini, I think of communication, right? So this is the type of marriage within your home life. There's not going to be miscommunication, even with simple things like creating a grocery list, like letting each other know when you're low on milk, or letting your partner know when you're going to be late coming home from work, communicating to your partner that, you know, you need a date night this week, or even that you need some alone time and you want to go play golf with your friend, or you want to go out to lunch with your mom. I don't know, whatever it is, but you're able to communicate like, hey, can you, if you have children, hey, can you take the kids for an afternoon? I need some time alone. Or hey, the kids have been missing you, you've been working a lot, let's go to the park as a family. Like, communication is just optimal in this connection. And I think that is part of the healing as well, is that if you feel like you couldn't express yourself freely without someone again invalidating you, or, you know, getting mad and, you know, that sort of like explosive anger, if you're just expressing your feelings, someone blows up at you, even if you were like, is like diplomatic as possible and they still bit your head off. That's not going to happen with this connection. Your partner, your future spouse, really wants you to be honest and open, and even if it's a difficult truth, even if it's you know, something that is hard for them to hear, they would rather know how you feel, because they don't want you to ever feel like you have to suffer in silence, or feel like you have to experience your difficult emotions on your own. They want to, there is a sense here of taking care of one another, that nurturing energy, sort of that divine masculine and divine feminine coming together. And that's just energy, right? We're not talking about gender, but it's just that idea of, mothering and fathering, this taking care of one another and coming together and creating this beautiful home life, because you have this sort of equal balance of nurturing that is happening. Okay, let's see what else we have. Oh my goodness, this is like way more cards than I remember. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have devotion. I would say so, absolutely. You two are just very devoted to one another. Again, really wanting to take care of one another. This is not the type of marriage, you don't have the type of home life where, it's getting late and you don't know where your partner is. Or, you have to go through their phone, their laptop, whatever, and like question their motives, their actions, what they're doing. You just have a sense of safety and security. This is a very like cozy, warm, loving home life. Okay, Jewel of the Sea. Your future partner really, truly values you. With the Jewel of the Sea, it's this idea that you have something precious. I mean, look at how carefully here she's holding this jewel, right? And there's this sense of like wonderment, of like mutual appreciation. Like this is both of you looking at your marriage, looking at your home life, looking at your life that you're creating together, and really valuing it. Really looking at it like it is something precious, it's something beautiful, something unique. And only the two of us could create such a beautiful life together because it's ours. It's a reflection of my values and your values, and what we truly appreciate about one another has manifested. Just beautiful energy. Okay, and we have trespassers here. Yeah, there's a lot of protection. You two are very protective of what you have. Now, everything can't be light and bright, okay? If there was a shadow side to this relationship, to your marriage, to your home life, it would be the trespassers card, because on one hand, this is very positive. You're very protective of what you have. Both of you are not willing to let someone come in and disrupt this marriage. But on the other side of it, because there's this fierce protectiveness, this can create jealousy. This can create a bit of like a control issue, a bit of sense of, why are you looking at my husband, my wife? Like, why is this person talking to you? Why is this person, you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, there's this fierce protectiveness that, in some ways is very positive, but like everything else, if it's not kept in balance, it could create a sense of, of jealousy, of not letting your partner have friends or not letting you have friends that they don't approve of, kind of thing. There could be a little bit of jealousy there. So that would just be something to be mindful of. But no marriage is absolutely perfect. So I'm glad that we got this card, because it's good for you to keep it in mind for when you do get married, but also, it shows that, like I said, there's this balance, right? Like, we don't want everything to seem too good to be true. Like, we want to have some realness come through and show that, like, these messages are honest and true, but so is this, and we have to be willing to be open to receiving messages that are warm and fuzzy, and messages that are, hey, let me give you some some tough love also. Okay. And then we have Summer Dragon. Okay. Summer Dragon. With this card, could be too that you all are having a wedding in the summer, or you have an anniversary in the summer. Maybe you met this person in the summertime, But those could just be specific messages for all of you. Summer Dragon, this partner, this future spouse, makes you feel like it's summertime year-round. Like I said, there's this illumination coming through this whole reading. Everything feels lighter, brighter, okay? They just make you feel so warm, and I feel like they really give you this confidence boost, because it kind of makes you feel like, well, if I could have a marriage that is this healthy and that is thriving and growing, then what else can I do? Like, there's so much more I can do, because I have this safe, secure home base, and I know I have my partner's support. It just feels very freeing. You know, you feel free to go after your dreams. If you haven't started already, this person just makes you feel like these butterflies. Again, transformation. You just feel free with this person. You feel very free to go after your dreams, to really conquer your other goals that you have. And that's why I feel like it's important to keep this trespasser's energy in check, because, well, it's good to feel protected and safe and secure. You don't want this energy to overwhelm these other cards and have it come through like you aren't free because you're too chained to making sure you stay within your partner's vicinity and making sure they can always keep an eye on you, and vice versa, because this trespasser's energy could be coming from both of you, which I suspect that it is, because we've had balance in everything else, or it could be you or just your future spouse. But I do think this protecting what is yours, understanding that while you are married and your life belongs to both of you, you're still individuals, you know, and keeping that in mind. Okay, let's see what else we have. I just want to make sure I got all the cards. Yep. Okay. I just love the backs of these. Okay, so we have change. Falling leaves do not signify the end, but the beginning of a fruitful season. Yes, when you get married to your future spouse, like I said, there's that energy of death, you know, with the Hanged Fae. There's this change in perspective. There's this death energy, transformation with the butterflies, the Eight of Cups. You leave behind the past, and it's a new, fresh chapter. It's a new start. So there is a lot of change, and so, you know, it would be helpful for you to stay grounded during this time and really take on, you know, a bit more self-care, you know, whatever that looks like to you, because marriage is a big change, especially if you're not living together, you know, prior to marriage. It's a huge life change. So that would be something, you know, to be mindful of, that go easy with yourself. Make sure you're still taking care of you, because, you know, combining your life and integrating your life with someone on a whole nother level of commitment is a big change, and it can be overwhelming. You know, even positive change can bring about very strong emotions that sometimes are uncomfortable, you know, even when it is very positive. Also, I just got this message coming through with the Summer Dragon. Some of you, there could be a family pet that is very, very much loved, and that kind of becomes the epicenter of your family. You know, like everyone adores your dog, or everyone loves your cat, kind of thing. Or it could be that you have many pets, since we have 4 butterflies here. Yeah, that could be a specific message for some of you that just came through. Okay. We have path. Wander on the path less traveled. What you find might surprise you. Yeah, I think, like I said before, this person's going to make you feel very free to go after your other pursuits, because I think your future spouse supports you in a way that no one else in your life has ever really, truly believed in you. You know, you may come from a family, or you may have friends that are very practical and realistic, and sometimes that can be limiting. You know, you don't always want to hear, well, if that doesn't work out, what's your backup plan? Like, that can feel very invalidating when you tell someone you want to do something, and the first thing out of their mouth is, well, what if that doesn't work out? What are you going to do? It's like, well, can you give me a chance to fail first? Like, can you give me a chance to succeed? Can you believe in me? Can you express excitement or you know, like faith in me? Like, can you give me a little bit of encouragement here and not just always this practical realism? And again, like sometimes that can come from a place of love, but that doesn't mean that it's not still harmful. Like just because someone has good intentions doesn't mean that, you know, the hurt you feel based upon what they said isn't valid. You know, someone can have the best intentions and still hurt you and still, you know, be damaging to your self-esteem. Okay, we've got patience. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. So remember how I said there's going to be a lot of financial abundance and security here? Yes, like that is true, but you're still going through that. You still initially have to go through the process of planting seeds. And so just because things are going to be very fruitful and very abundant doesn't mean that it might not take time. And so for some of you, practically, this can mean like after you get married, maybe you don't move straight into your dream home. Maybe you move into a nice starter home or a nice apartment, and then you save up money for your dream house, or you end up building your dream house, and that takes time. You know, or maybe it takes time to adjust to living together if you weren't living together before. And so have patience with that. It might take you a couple weeks or a couple months to get into the flow of living together. You know, that sort of thing. Okay, and then we have joy. Oh, spread seeds of joy like wildflowers, and no doubt you will revel in the result. Yes, I love that we ended on that. That wasn't planned, but I do think this is going to be a very joyful connection. And I was just saying plant seeds. This is saying spread the seeds as well. I think that you're going to have the type of home life that other people envy and other people are jealous of. I think that's part of that trespassers card that we had before, and that may be why you're extra protective over it, because, you know, there are people who might make snide remarks or might be critical because they're projecting their issues onto your marriage, or because your marriage is so different than other people's marriages. There may be some criticism there. Like if you come from a traditional background, you know, like maybe your family or your friends are like, well, why is your partner cooking and cleaning and doing all of this? Like, you should be doing that. And they don't understand, you know, like sort of the equitable division of labor that you have in your marriage. They don't get that. It's just different. And, you know, people can criticize things that, you know, is different than what they're used to. But I feel like on the positive end of it, your marriage, your home life with your future spouse is going to be a shining example of what a healthy, happy connection, what a healthy, happy home life with a partner should be like. You know, you give other people hope that happy, healthy marriages exist, and marriage is not destined to end in divorce. Okay? I don't think divorce is something that you or your future spouse would ever even remotely consider, because there's just this willingness here on your end and their end to put in the work, because marriage is work, right? Just like any other connection, you know, we have to put in the effort. And work doesn't have to be tiring. Work can be fun. Work can be enjoyable, you know, like putting in effort into your connection can be joyful. And I think that you teach other people that. Okay. So we'll just end with 2 self-care messages, 2 words of wisdom, basically. Not 2 words, 2 cards of wisdom from your future spouse's higher self. So we have, when I lean on the faith of the universe, peace becomes real. I love the image here of the 2 owls, the 2 lovebirds together. Yes, so have faith that if you don't know your future spouse yet, if you're single, or if you're in an unhappy, unhealthy relationship, trust that this person is going to come through. Have faith that love can be peaceful, love can be nurturing, real love does exist. And it says, I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this sphere through the eyes of the teacher of love. So it is perfectly okay to have doubt, to have fears, It is perfectly okay and valid. However, sort of perceive these feelings with a sense of non-judgment. You know, don't be harsh on yourself for having fear. Just accept it and release it and find your center ground. You know, if you have to meditate, do that, but just come back to your center, you know, however that looks like to you. Reconnect with that sense of joy, and the universe will, you know, be that guiding light, be that teacher of love for you. Okay, pile 1, I loved this reading so much. Please comment down below if you enjoyed it, if it resonated. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell, all that jazz. I will see you guys in my next one. Please take care, pile 1. All right, pile 2, for everyone who chose the gold coppery hair clip, welcome to your reading. So we have the Queen of Wands, we have the Devil, we have the Knave of Cups, and the King of Swords. Now, I will say your reading is unfolding a bit differently than pile 1. I'm going to go through the messages as they come, but I do want to say, please don't be alarmed that the Devil card is here. I will get to this, but I know for those of you who are familiar with tarot, you may see this and in the context of this reading be a bit alarmed. So don't worry about this card. We will get to it. It's okay. Okay, so I would like to start with the Queen of Wands and the King of Swords. So I do feel like this is either representing you or your future spouse, and this is representing either you or your future spouse. So if you relate to the Divine Feminine, this is you. If you relate to the Divine Masculine, this is you, and the other person is your future spouse. Okay, so with the Queen of Wands, you could be, or your future spouse, the Divine Feminine is either an Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, or they embody that energy. It's a significant placement in their chart. So think their sun, their rising, their moon, their Venus, or their Mars, okay? And so the Divine Feminine is coming through as someone who is very confident, someone who is friendly, popular. They have that sort of infectious energy, right? You know, I do think like court cards, when they're queen or kings, can be polarizing. Like some people may love them, some people may hate them. You know, they just sort of inspire a strong reaction from people because they are forces of nature. Like they are, you know, personalities that are really developed, and I think underdeveloped personalities, egos, can be a bit threatened by a king or a queen. So when I say popular, I mean they're popular with the people who are drawn to them, but they can also inspire strong negative reactions from other people who are projecting their insecurities upon them. And that's true of both the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine here. But going back to the Queen of Wands, the Divine Feminine in this marriage is someone who, like I said, very confident, friendly, adventurous, very creative, just this beautiful lightness, this sense that whatever I need, I can create. And this creates this sense of self-assurance in this person. Now, combine that with the Divine Masculine over here. So swords, air, think Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Again, doesn't have to be their sun sign, but this is how their energy is coming through in this marriage. This person is such a strong communicator. You know, they don't mince their words, they speak with purpose, and they definitely can be very charismatic because they always know the right thing to say, but when they want to, they can also say the absolute wrong thing if they want to, you know, in the context of like trying to win an argument. They can really undercut someone. And you know, with the sword here, they're very powerful, very strong in their energy. It's kind of funny with the sword here being like it is that this is the Divine Masculine. I won't get into all that, but I think you guys know what I'm alluding to. But anyway, the King of Swords, yes, someone who I would say does very well in business, definitely can take on that leadership role. They are just someone that honestly you wouldn't want to cross. They are very protective of their values, of what they believe in, and the people they love. Okay? Now, with the Knave of Cups here, for those of you who are wanting children and you clicked on this reading and you are really hoping that children would be addressed, that is coming through strongly here with the Knave of Cups. This is a page, okay? So when you see a page card come up in the context of like a marriage, a love reading, you do think children, right? So for some of you, this here is featuring a daughter, right? So for some of you, you could be having a daughter together, and that's a big integral part of your home life is, you know, coming together and creating and raising this child. And with the cups here, you know, you think water sign, you think Cancer, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Sorry, it's early in the morning when I'm filming this, but I was just so excited to film this reading. I was like, no, I'm just gonna film it in my pajamas because I'm just so excited about it. But anyways, so this is a very sensitive child, someone who feels very deeply, someone who will grow up to be a very compassionate, soft, wears their heart on their sleeve, very soft kind of energy, a very gentle child, you know, a child that, you know, may have issues, like the kind of child when you drop them off at kindergarten, they're gonna cry, like that kind of thing. They're just very soft-hearted. And yeah, so for those of you who are not wanting children, either this isn't the right pile for you, or that message specifically is not for you. So just be mindful of how the rest of this reading unfolds. Could be too that you are just coming together with your future spouse and you're gonna create something together, like a business. But honestly, I'm calling it like I see it. I do feel like for most of you, this is a child, okay? But again, if that doesn't resonate, maybe if you were drawn to another group, maybe go watch that pile, or just take this to mean that could be that you two go together in business and you create something that is related to emotion in some way. So that could be like maybe the two of you, I don't know, are both involved in like, maybe you two are both counselors and you end up starting a business together, or maybe your future spouse works as a psychiatrist and they like open up the business and you run the administration side. That could be a message, but again, for most of you, this is a child. Okay, now with the Devil card being here, what I'm getting initially from this card is that there is a lot of passion, a lot of strong sexual energy coming through, and this could be why you end up having a child quickly together. So you know, like one of you gets pregnant very, very fast after the wedding, or could be for some of you, you already have this child and you get married after having the child, you know what I mean? So you're already a family, and sort of the documentation of like getting married is just sort of a formality, you know, you're already a family type of deal. That could be a possibility. Also, the Devil is Capricorn. So for those of you who are resonating with the business venture message, then that could be also confirmation that, because with Capricorn, I do think of business, I do think of hard work, of building something slowly over time with Saturn. So that could be a message as well, confirming that you will be starting a business with your future spouse, and that, you know, affects your home life. But for most of you, I think your home life is really going to be centered around this child. You know, a lot is going to be geared towards raising this child, caring for this child, and nurturing this child. And yeah, so that's what I'm getting so far. Let's continue on. Your reading is so different than pile one. It's kind of funny. Okay. So we've got the Ace of Water, Plantain, and we have the Justice card. So I just said your reading is so different than pile one, and then you also got the Justice card like pile one did, but it's a bit different here. So with the Ace of Water, With Ace here, we think of fresh start, new beginnings. So that makes sense within the context of a marriage reading, because getting married is a huge, a huge change. So obviously that's going to be a new start. But I will say also with the Ace of Water, that to me is confirming for some of you that you will have a child who is a water sign, because we have the Ace of Cups and we have the Page of Cups. Aces are new beginnings. This new beginning, water, you have a child who is a water sign. Absolutely, that's coming through. And they don't have to be a daughter. That's just how it's depicted on this card. So if you were hoping to have a daughter, that's confirmation for some of you. For others of you, it doesn't have to be a daughter. Okay. And I think also with the Ace of Water, this is a very loving and emotionally understanding connection. I feel like in terms of your home life, you two, even if, because I'm not gonna lie, with the King of Swords being here and the Queen of Wands, you have air energy and you have fire. So what does air do to fire? It makes it bigger, okay? So I do feel like with the Devil card here too, there is so much passion in this marriage. Pile 1 was very like warm and cozy and soothing. And for you two, it's more like there's just this passion, this explosion of energy. And it's kind of like you love really hard, but you also fight really hard. And I don't think that it's not toxic. Like, I don't mean you fight really hard in the sense that it becomes like physically abusive or something like that. It's just that you two are both so passionate that you really stand firm in like your perception of what is happening. And so that's why I think it's so wonderful and so healthy that we have the Justice energy coming through, because it's adding balance and kind of soothing out these two strong energies that are coming through. And so even if you guys do have these sort of explosive arguments, again, like, I don't think it's physically abusive in any way, but neither one of you is like mincing your words here. There's still the Justice energy coming through with the cannabis here and soothing everything over, okay? Like, even if you fight and you have this explosive argument, it's like, okay, we got it out on the table, let's move past it. It's not, you guys don't have this dynamic where you're passive aggressive or you hold grudges or you are mad at each other and one of you is giving the other person the silent treatment. It's very healthy, honestly, that you guys say what you mean, you get it out on the table, and you're done with it. Like, you express how you feel, they express how they feel, you come to some sort of mutual compromise, and you're done. And other people might look at your relationship from the outside and be like, wow, they fight a lot. But it's just that you say how you feel in the moment. You just say it. And they do too. And so it's done with, it's dealt with. No one is harboring resentment. And you guys are both tough enough to take the truth. Justice is truth. You both can handle the truth. Everything is out on the table. There are no secrets in this marriage, okay? So in terms of like your home life, you're coming together, you're caring for this child or this new business. Everything is like fair and balanced in terms of, taking care of the child or taking care of the business. Everyone has a role to play. And then also in your home life, yeah, you guys might like to fuss and bicker and banter. There's a lot of wittiness here with the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Like, you both maybe like to shade each other a little bit for fun. You like to keep it passionate. You like to keep it spicy. You like to keep each other, on your toes sort of thing. But you also don't have these long-term disagreements. So yeah, you might fight, you might bicker a lot, but it's with love. With the Ace of Water, it's with love. Everything is done with love. And, other people on the outside may be like, man, like, They bicker a lot, they get at each other's throats a lot, but it keeps things passionate, it keeps it spicy, but it also balances out to where, like I said, you're not holding grudges. You know, there's nothing that goes unsaid. Everything is out on the table. You know, with your future spouse, you don't have to question how they feel about you. You don't have to question what their motives are. You know, this isn't a person where you sleep with one eye open kind of thing. There's a lot of trust here. And because there's that strong sense of trust, because neither one of you honestly is that sensitive. Like, and when I say that, I mean, like, you can take a joke. You know, there's a lot of humor here. There's a lot of laughter. And, you know, they can tease you and you don't go and cry about it, kind of thing. Like the King of Swords and the Queen of Wands, neither of these characters are people that you can't joke around with, you know? So I think that's why also when you guys banter back and forth, you don't take it to heart. You know they're just messing with you. You know they're playing around with you. There's a lot of fun here also. Sorry, I know I'm speaking kind of quickly and I'm jumping from like one thing to another, but it's all kind of just flooding in. And I think it's because of that fieriness that's here, because the air is just shoosh, like making everything just, yeah, it's all kind of just flowing. The energy here is a bit overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie. I'm trying to keep everything straight. And I will say too, with the water energy here, for those of you who resonated with the child message, there may be some issues here in terms of parenting, because your child is so tender-hearted, you two may need to adjust how you speak to your child, because it may be that because they have this great sensitivity that neither one of you really has. Like, even if you're watching this and you think you're a sensitive person, it is like nothing compared to this child. And so there will be a need to be soft, you know, and to maybe change your parenting style to adjust, you know, in how you speak to this child and how you handle this child. You know, there may be some adjustments and some figuring out of like how to discipline and how to support this child. Okay. And I think that's normal, you know, for most parents. You have to kind of figure things out as you go along. Oh my goodness. These cards are a little bit out of order. Give me a second. Okay. So we've got focus. We have love. Actually, I want to talk about these two cards together first. Okay. Because I'm reading these two as a pair. So there's a lot of focus on the romantic aspect of this marriage. And so what that means practically in your home life is that everything in your home life, again, is centered upon family and the romantic connection. And so this honestly is not the type of marriage where there's a lot of focus on practicality. You know what I mean? Like, there are some marriages where the home life is very focused on building material abundance and kind of keeping up with the Joneses of like, you know, we need to save money to get a nicer home, or, you know, I need to work extra hours at my job and work overtime so that we can afford a bigger house kind of thing. Or we need to budget so we can go on this huge vacation at the end of the year. Like, there's not really a huge focus on that, to be honest. Instead, you two are really focused on really family and quality time. You know, you're not focused on the material. It's more of a focus on spending quality time and, you know, making sure that you guys don't lose that romantic spark. Yeah, that message is coming through. You guys don't want to lose the sense of, you know, when you're in that honeymoon phase and everything is very passionate, and like sort of that like those rose-colored glasses kind of thing. You guys don't want to lose that sense. Like you still want to look at each other and feel the same way that you did on your first date kind of thing. You don't want to lose the romantic connection, especially as you learn to be either business partners or parents. You don't want to lose that. And so you understand that in order to be good parents or to be effective in business together, you still have to continually work at your romantic connection and sort of stoking that fire. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've been like skating around this. I try to keep things a bit PG, but if I'm being honest, your sex life with this person is very central to this marriage. Like you two are both very focused on that, and I feel like if you ever need a barometer that your marriage is in trouble in some way, or the connection is going stale, there's some issue in your marriage, that would be the first sign, is if your sex life goes stale, because there's just such a huge focus on that. I'm being honest, like the ripe juiciness of these tomatoes, like I'm just saying what I see. But yes, I do feel like there's this strong sense of like, we're not willing to let that go. Like we don't want to become boring people. We don't want to get so caught up in achieving like material wealth, or we don't want to get so caught up in sort of the day-to-day mundane responsibilities. Like with pile 1, I was really explaining how like the day-to-day responsibilities would be taken care of, and like what it would look like to live with this person. With this pile, maybe it's because you're already living with your future spouse before you get married, or for some of you, you already have a child before you get married, but it's not coming through like, this is how it's going to look like when you finally live together. It's not coming through like that. It's more of like describing the actual connection between you two and how that progresses after marriage. And the biggest message that I'm getting is that you want to keep the spark alive. You want to keep things fresh. You want to keep things exciting. So whatever that means to you, that will be a big focus in this marriage. And then we've got hope. And I love, love, love the yellow here, this illumination. So I do feel like with this hope card, maybe this is a bit odd, but this is the message that is coming through. I'm hearing that for many of you, you never saw a healthy, happy marriage up close. Like there's this old Drake lyric that is coming into my head. It's an old song by him. I don't know why this is coming up, but I want to witness love I've never seen it close. Let's stay together until we're ghosts. I think that's the line. But yeah, I feel like neither one of you came from a two-parent household or a stable, neither one of you saw like a stable marriage, a happy marriage in your families. Or maybe this is just a message for one of you, but I don't feel like you have an example of a marriage that you want to emulate. I feel like despite this, you still have hope that marriage can be happy and healthy, and you still have hope that marriage can still be like passionate even 10 years down the line. Like you two, like I said, like fiercely hold on to this idea that you can still feel butterflies and still feel excited and turned on and attracted to your partner, no matter how many times you're with each other, no matter how long this connection lasts for, this marriage lasts for. You will still want your partner physically, emotionally, spiritually, still want your partner you know, even 20 years into the marriage. Like, you want to grow old together. You want to still feel passionate towards one another even as you age, and you know, physically you don't feel as good as you did when you were 10 years younger, kind of thing. You know, you still want to feel that passion and that want and that desire. Like, desire is such a central feature of this marriage. Okay. Okay, so we have chocolate brownie fairy. So again, I really do feel like many of you will have children with your future spouse, at least one child. And I also feel like with chocolate brownie fairy, and because we have the devil card to start with, there's a sense of indulgence here. You know, there's a great focus on pleasure. I think that's definitely the word here. A defining characteristic of this marriage is a desire for pleasure. You know, you want to have delicious meals together. You're the type of couple that goes for like couples massages. You know, you really devote time to one another, and there's just this, you guys are sexy. I don't even know how else to say it. But there is just this playfulness, this adventurous side to this connection. Okay, we have Bad Dragon here. And we have Hummingbird Dreams. And we have Shaman. Okay. So, with this Bad Dragon, I do feel like some of you do have these impulses and these I kind of feel like there's this dynamic where maybe this is you, or maybe this is your future spouse, but you do things on purpose to aggravate the other person. It's very playful. You do things intentionally that you know will irritate this person or that will irritate you. But you do it as like foreplay. Like, it's kind of like, I'm gonna do this thing that I know agitates you to start this petty argument and that we both know is not in any way serious. Like, we're just messing around with each other. And that becomes like a precursor to you guys being physical with one another. Like, you just enjoy sort of that naughtiness. Like, you enjoy that dynamic of like, okay, I'm gonna do this thing to mess with you and get a reaction from you, and you just have that sort of playful dynamic back and forth. And it's just sort of, you guys like to play games with one another. Yeah, in a very like in a very healthy, fun way. Like, again, I think so much of your marriage is geared towards keeping that physical passion alive, keeping that fire burning bright. And then with Hummingbird Dreams, I think that this card really speaks to, you know, even the hummingbird itself is very small, and yet it's still this symbol of beauty. It's still something that we stop and notice. You know, it really commands a lot of attention. You know, if you see a hummingbird, you're like, oh my gosh, look. You know, even though it's so small, but and it's consistent, right? Like, the hummingbird keeps moving. And so, again, I think with birds, we get the idea that communication, you know, birds, communication, Gemini, you know, communication is really strong between you two. You know exactly how far to push your partner, and they know exactly how far to push you. You like to toe that line between, you know, an actual argument and just playing around and messing with each other. And I think also with Hummingbird Dreams, again, that idea of like valuing something that may seem small and insignificant to someone else. So you really value those small moments of closeness. You know, it's the little things. It's definitely the little things that you two truly value. You know, this is not in any way a materialistic connection. Like, your marriage is not focused on materialism. It's focused on family and passion. And, you know, there's this idea too of like, maybe this is like echoing the cannabis card. I don't know why, but this idea of like of like love is free, you know, like what can, you know, there's no need for us to go and spend a ton of money on like some fancy date night. Like I'm sorry, y'all's pile is wild. Like this message just came through, like all I need is your body. Like I don't even need to spend any money, I just need you. I just need you here with me, and that is good enough. And I think you know what I mean when I say I just need your body. Okay, I know how you two spend your free time together, and that is oh my gosh. Okay, and then with shaman, this sense of intuition, you guys have a strong spiritual connection. I think that is why you are able to banter back and forth and have this like witty exchange between each other, and have these like petty little arguments that to you are just fun, because you can fuss with each other because you have this almost like psychic connection with each other. You just intuitively know when this person is in, you know, a good mood, a bad mood. You just intuitively know what they're thinking, and they can see right through to your core too. And I think this is like a big turn on, that you don't have to always say it. Even though communication is strong between you two, it's not just verbal communication, it's non-verbal too. You can read the cues of each other's bodies. You know each other's bodies so well. You know each other's mannerisms so well. You just can pick up on each other's energy, and you know exactly what that other person needs at any given time, and they know what you need. Okay? Oh, you guys are something else. Pile 2. We got dance. Allow yourself some fun each day, just as the sun dances with the moon each night. The sun and the moon, that's you two. Yeah, a perfect harmonious connection. Okay, yeah, with dance, you two passionate. And I think with dance, you know, you think of one body moving in perfect synchronicity with another body. Again, like you two just fit together really well. We've got cleanse, wash your weary spirit clean, and take a walk in the wooded glades. I feel like with your marriage, like you could have a terrible, horrible day at work, and you come home to this person and it feels very cleansing. Like, even, again, I'm sorry to keep going back to your sex life with this person, but even just a physical touch with this person, whether, you know, it is sex, or if it's, you know, just a hug, a kiss, whatever it is, like holding hands with this person, it just kind of puts you back to center. It resets you, and you feel clean, you feel cleansed again. You know, the day is just washed away, and whatever happened, you know, seems very insignificant to the power of this marriage. Grounded. I'm glad we got this. Keep your roots and stand taller than the trees. You know, like I said, how passionate this connection is, how, you know, like fiery this marriage is. I'm glad that we had justice, and I'm glad that we had grounded, because it speaks to the longevity of this connection. You know, this marriage isn't going to burn out quickly. You know, even if it seems on the outside like this is really unstable with the fire and the air energy and like all this bantering, and other people don't get it. They think you're actually fighting, you're actually arguing. They don't get it, and that's okay. This person keeps you rooted, you keep them rooted. It doesn't matter what other people's perceptions are of this connection. Like, you know what it is and they know what it is. We've got retreat. I do feel like, again, you don't have to go anywhere. Like, this person feels like a vacation. Their body feels like a vacation. You know, your marriage to each other, like, you just retreat into your home. I do feel like some of you are like home buddies, like both of you. It says, spoil yourself in the morning mist, breathe in nature's sweet scents. Yeah, so I just feel like it's not that you won't ever go on vacation or travel together or do things outside of the home, but I just feel like your home and your marriage and just being with this person, no matter where you are, is just so healing and so so fulfilling for you, that you don't need all of the external things. Like, those things are nice, but you don't need them. you know, you find home within each other. Okay, so we will end with 2 cards of wisdom here from your future spouse's higher self. So we have, I recognize that I have chosen fear and I choose again, I choose love. And we have, when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Yeah, I do feel like if you do have some shadow work that you need to do, if again, like that message that came up earlier of, you know, I've never seen a happy marriage up close, if that resonated, just recognize that just because that's true for other people, and, you know, other people who are close to you have never experienced a happy marriage, doesn't mean that you can't. Okay? Alright, so that's what I would like to end with. Pile 2, I hope this reading resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching it all the way through. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Let me know if you want to see more love readings. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next one. Please take care, Pile 2. Alright, on my Pile 3s who chose the white flowers, welcome to your reading. I didn't really talk about the hair clips with the other 2 groups, but Pile 3 is always a little bit unique in my readings. When I was like putting this down, it just kind of popped into my head, like this whiteness, this purity, but also the 3 here, because you have 3 here, 3 flowers, and you also have the 3 of cups. So I just get this kind of feeling that, also because the 6 of Pentacles is here, and with 6s I always think of a little bit of like childhood nostalgia. So I will say, in your home life, with your future spouse, there's this sense of innocence, and there's this sense of good intentions. You know, both of you will always act with the best intentions towards each other. You know, this is a marriage where you never really want to intentionally hurt each other. You know, and even with the white flowers here and the High Priestess that's present, the sense of like purity of thought, of intuition, of spirituality. I think this is a very spiritual connection and marriage. Like, I do feel like with the 3s here, like this sense of celebration, it being united. You know, I do think for some of you, your future spouse is someone that you knew in a past life, or maybe you knew them when you were younger, but there's just this sense that of gratitude, of being reunited, of being so grateful that you're able to be married to this person, that you know this person, that, you know, you 2 found each other. Okay, sorry, that was just coming through. But we have the 6 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, we have Judgment, and we have the High Priestess. Okay, so let's start with the 6 of Pentacles here. So you could have been maybe drawn to Pile 1 because they also got this message in a different way. But I feel that, again, with that sense of gratitude at having found one another, you 2 are going to be very financially abundant, and you're going to have enough financially to where you can give to others. You know, there's enough financial abundance where you have enough for yourself, but you also have enough to share with others. And so, you know, whether that's, you know, through your career or your future spouse's career, you know, there's just enough to go around. And so maybe for some of you, you share with family members who are struggling, who are a little bit worse off. You know, maybe for some of you, as your marriage progresses, you help take care of one of your parents who, you know, is retired or can't work anymore, has like long-term health conditions, whatever the case is. Take what resonates. This is a general reading, so it's going to vary, but, you know, maybe you're helping out a sibling. Whatever the case is, there's just enough financial abundance in your marriage to share, okay? And I think that you 2 are both very giving people, because there's this softness here. There's a lot of softness here between the 2 of you. And it could be too that, you know, you both are passionate about a charity. You know, like maybe you 2 both really love animals, and so, you know, you both make a decision that we're going to donate money every month to the SPCA or something like that. That could be also the case. And then with the Three of Cups, you two have a lot of fun together, a lot of celebration. So in terms of your home life with your future spouse after marriage, this is the energy where you have a lot of dinner parties. Maybe one of you really loves to cook, or maybe you both do, and you have a lot of dinner parties. You like to have friends over, family over. Holidays are a big deal in your household. You guys love to celebrate anything really. Like, you guys just look for an excuse to celebrate and to open your doors, open your home. Again, with like Six of Pentacles, it doesn't have to just be money. Like, you guys like to share food, you like to share a good time with other people. And so that to me echoes, the Three of Cups as well. And then we have Judgment coming through. This marriage is really the product of good karma. That's why I said there was this softness here, this purity. You two likely manifested one another. This is a marriage where you're really like, I prayed for this person. I prayed for a marriage like this, and I feel so blessed to have it. You two feel very blessed. And so obviously, like, if you feel very blessed to be married to someone and they feel the same way, you're going to be very kind to one another. This is the sort of home life where you wake up and you see your future spouse has cooked you breakfast, or you come home and you see that maybe they tidied up your workspace for you, or they do like little nice things for you and you do the same for them. There's just a lot of like mutual kindness happening. And then with the Priestess card being here, there's again that strong spiritual sense, this strong sense of intuition, of spiritual connection to one another. So it's kind of like, with the other two groups, there was a lot about communication, like direct verbal communication. For you two, it's more of like, there's a lot of things that you don't even have to say. You don't even have to say, because you feel each other so deeply and you have this spiritual connection where a lot doesn't have to be said. A lot can go unsaid but still be understood, if that makes sense. So kind of an example of this would be, your partner comes home, and even before they're home, you just have a sense that it's been a bad day for them. And so before they're even home, you have done something to make their day better. Whether that's you've cooked a nice dinner for them, or you're like, okay, like, I just have a sense that this person had a bad day. I'm going to order takeout from their favorite restaurant, and I'm going to light some candles, and I'm going to find a good movie for us to watch, and we're just going to curl up, eat takeout on the couch with some blankets, and we're going to snuggle, and it's all going to be okay. Or they come in the door and you just know the right thing to say. Like, you just know exactly what they need to hear in any given moment. Like, there's just this strong spiritual connection, and they don't even have to tell you they had a bad day. You just know. You just sense it. And it, that works vice versa. They do the same for you as well. And that's one thing that I've been happy to see across all three groups, is that there's been a lot of balance. There's been a lot of mutual understanding. I haven't seen an imbalanced marriage yet, so that makes me happy. Okay, we have the Lovers. Okay, no one else got this, so lucky you, pile 3. You are marrying your soulmate. So congrats to you. And I think that's why I was feeling that sense of spiritual connection, that sense of past lives. And I love the way that the Lovers is depicted here, because you see how both of these circles are complete on their own, and yet they come together and they create something together that is a new whole, and yet you could still see how these two are still separate individuals. You know what I mean? Like, there's still two separate entities, and yet they also come together perfectly. So it's not two halves that come together to create a whole. It's two complete things that come together and create something new. And I love that. I love that you two are complete on your own, and yet you have chosen to integrate yourselves together to create something new. I love this depiction of the lovers. Okay, and then we have Adelita of Earth, so which is Yucca. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. But oh, and this is Hawthorne. But within this tarot deck, Adelita stands for the Knights, okay? And the Knights in this deck are all depicted as like feminine energy. And so here she's building a Celtic cross. And so this, and Earth is Pentacles. This is the Knight of Pentacles, okay? But, okay, sorry, lots of messages are coming through with this like one card. I'm gonna say this as clearly and concisely as possible. With the Knight of Earth, the Adelita of Earth here, she's building a Celtic cross. And so the Celtic cross really speaks to this idea of ancestors and this connection to our ancestors. And I feel like that's again echoing that idea that you two knew each other in a past life. And there's this connection here because I feel like this soft, beautiful, emotional, spiritual, you know, aspect or theme to your marriage is really healing a lot of generational trauma. You know, sort of like, because we all know sort of the unhealthy patterns that exist within our family lines. I think a lot of us, you know, especially people who watch pick a card readings, you're at least familiar with the unhealthy patterns that exist within your family. And to have this heal, to have this end with you two is really beautiful, right? Like, I mean, it's a heavy weight to carry generational trauma. I just realized I'm like holding the side of my face. So odd, but that is kind of how I feel though, with this energy coming through, that there's a lot here about release. There's a lot here about release, and it's a heavy burden to carry, to know that you're the one responsible for ending all of this generational trauma that's been placed upon you, and yet you are. And that's really beautiful, and that's something to be proud of. This is a marriage that you can be proud of, and it's so peaceful. You know, in terms of your home life, there isn't going to be yelling, there's not going to be raised voices. You two speak to each other with kindness. You know, you really, of course there's disagreements in every marriage, but you two speak to each other very clearly, and like I said, a lot doesn't even have to be said between the two of you. And so disputes are resolved very quickly and very easily, because there's this willingness to compromise. And there's this willingness to see each other as separate individuals, and an understanding that this person can be different than you. You know, you have the red here coming together with the white. You know, those are two very different energies, but there's this mutual respect for the other person's perspective. And there's this, like I said, this mutual understanding that yes, we are very different, so of course we're going to disagree, but we both have this, we both at the end of the day have these like shared core values that guide us. And as long as we keep acting in alignment with those values, our marriage will last. You know, so there's just, neither one of you has an unhealthy ego. And so I think that's why this connection is able to flourish in the way that it does, because, and I do think that maybe some of you knew each other when you were young, and so you just see each other very clearly. And you trust that the other person has your best intentions at heart. There's a deep, deep sense of trust here that I think is very beautiful. But yeah, there's no screaming or yelling in your house. If it does happen, it's very rare. And that doesn't mean that there's a lack of passion. I just feel like, honestly, passion for you guys is almost superficial, because what you have is so much deeper than just the physical. It's very spiritual. You two are truly like best friends and family. You know, there's the romantic connection, but there's also something more than that. You know, it's all encompassing. Their love is all encompassing, and it's endless, right? There's an endless supply of love here. The circles are reminding me of the Wheel of Fortune. You know, the wheel is always spinning. Your luck can be changing. You're going to go through tough cycles. They're going to go through tough cycles. Your marriage is going to go through tough cycles. But at the end of the day, the love is always still there. The love is always still there. It's circular. It never ends. There's an endless supply of love. Yeah, it's just a lot deeper than the other two groups. And not to say that that is, you know, better or worse. It's just different. Okay. So we have grounding. I think you feel so safe and secure. And I do feel like the home is sort of a sanctuary. I think your home is like a sanctuary. It's very peaceful. Very peaceful. We have transition. Like I said, I think that this marriage is one that will stand the test of time. You two will go through a lot of cycles, especially since you're healing this generational trauma. You'll go through a lot of cycles, but you can weather any storm with this person. You know, they are your rock. They're very loyal. They have your back. And attraction. Yeah, you two, because we got the Lovers and we have the attraction card here, I do feel like this was a fated connection. I do feel that you two are tied together through that red thread of fate. And I feel like your attraction to one another, because it's so much deeper than just the physical, it's going to always be there. It's not something that you even have to like actively work on. Like pile 2 was like very protective and like very much like always trying to you know, keep the attraction alive. Whereas with this connection, there's no real need to even put in any sort of effort towards it, because this person is going to be attracted to you when you look like hell, to be honest. Like, they don't care, you know, like you could have just rolled out of bed and they still see you as beautiful, because, you know, it's just a different dynamic. Like, the focus isn't so much on just physical attraction. It's deeper than that. You know, you're not falling in love with their words. You're not falling in love with how they look. You're not falling in love with the material side, like what they can do for you. Like, you're just attracted to who they are. It's the essence of them. There's something in your soul that recognizes something in their soul, and this is something that is ancient. This is something that has carried through multiple lifetimes. There's just this huge spiritual connection where, you know, you may not have seen it at first and maybe it just clicks one day, or maybe it's a love at first sight. For some of you, it depends on like how spiritually connected you are, like individually to you, like your spiritual team. But anyway, this attraction is not something that you even have to put any effort into. It's just there. You know, it's an eternal flame. It's never going to go out. It's just there. And so, like magnets, you will always be drawn to one another. Okay. So we have Moon Dragon. So much depth of emotion. And I do feel like I said, it may not always be said. You know, this isn't the type of marriage where you're always saying I love you to one another. You know, you don't have to say it all the time. It's like you really value how sacred those words are, and you value the meaning behind them. It's almost like, I'm not just gonna throw around compliments, and I'm not just gonna throw around words like I love you. I'm not just gonna say something to get on your good side kind of thing. Like, this is a type of marriage where, you know, you say things with purpose, and a lot of it is just understood, it's just felt. You know, I don't have to say I love you for you to know that I love you, because I show you every single day. You know, like it's like this person is just someone that you trust so deeply, and you know them. There's this deep sense of knowing. There's nothing here that is hidden. And so because there's this strong spiritual connection and this deep, deep understanding of one another, of truly seeing the other person for who they are at their essence, at their core, you don't have to say it. It's just understood. It's just felt. Okay, and we have wishing you health. I feel like this marriage is really the picture of health. You know, it's very healthy, and it also is very nourishing. And I do feel like in some practical ways, because we've been talking a lot about the spiritual, so I do want to address the practical aspects of this marriage as well. Your home life with this person, you know, it's either you or them, or maybe it's both of you, but at least one of you really truly values health. And so, you know, doing things like taking walks together, working out together, cooking healthy meals together. If you have children, you know, that's going to be a strong focus of like making sure they're nurtured in terms of like their nutrition, and like making sure they're socialized with other children, and making sure their emotional needs are met. There's a big focus on health. On, you know, your future spouse or you will really be like, hey, like it seems like you've been working really hard lately. You know, like I feel like you should take some time to rest, or, you know, take some time for self-care. There's just this gentleness here of like really taking care of one another, acting as like a parent to one another, you know, when it's needed. When it's needed. Okay, and we have Nightlight. This is probably my favorite card in this deck. I just love this sense of safety and security, even in the darkest of times, even in the night. This person is a light. I feel like this marriage is really, you know, there could be so many challenges that you two encounter together, but you can still rest easy. You can still curl up and feel safe, because you know this person's love for you is never going to be extinguished. Like I said, it's that eternal light. And there's even two lights here, right? And I feel like too, with this Nightlight card, for those of you who were hoping that there was going to be children addressed in this reading, I do feel like with the two lights here and the birth of magic, that there is definitely a possibility here for children, of two coming together to make three, because we had three here, and then we also had the Three of Cups. So definitely a possibility for you to have children in this marriage, and for that to factor in heavily into how your day-to-day like home life exists, because, you know, if you have children, that definitely changes a lot in terms of day-to-day responsibilities. I would also say with the birth of magic, this connection really, really ignites your spirituality. If you were just like, you know, maybe you watch pick a card readings sometimes, but you know, you're not really into anything else in terms of spirituality, and this marriage is going to open up a whole new door for you, because this marriage makes you believe in magic, makes you believe in happy endings and fairy tales and fairies and light and happiness and love in a way that, you know, like you never have before, because this connection is very ethereal, it's very otherworldly. It's definitely been the hardest connection, I think, to express into words. You know, your home life with your future spouse has definitely been, I think, out of all three groups, it's been the most challenging for me to express, because a lot of it is so spiritual, it's so emotional, it's so deep that I think words almost do a disservice to how powerful and how healing and how beautiful and magical this marriage really is. This marriage is not going to be like anything you have ever witnessed or experienced before. I mean, this is the coming together of two soulmates. Not everyone gets to be married to their soulmate. So this is something that will definitely, if you're not already someone who practices gratitude, it's definitely going to ignite a sense of gratitude in you. Okay, we have caution. Tread carefully so not to disturb the woodland floor. I do feel like, again, you two are very, very gentle with one another. Very gentle, very understanding. You really just want to take care of one another. And I think there is definitely a strong possibility that, especially since we had the message of ancestral healing, you two probably have had difficult lives. You've been through very challenging life circumstances that not a lot of people experience, or maybe this is just for one of you, but I think that is why there's this sense of gentleness here, and a sense that for all the hell that you've been through, you deserve a marriage like this. So then we have teach. Inspire others and let nature be your greatest teacher. I think that kind of calls back to this health card. I do think that one of you is very much into being in nature and outdoors, and like meditation and like hikes, and just maybe even just traveling and seeing, not traveling like, I don't know, going to like a big city or Disney or something, not that kind of travel, but more of like traveling and seeing nature's wonders, like the Grand Canyon, or traveling to see a waterfall, or traveling and going scuba diving, stuff like that, like outdoor activities. I think that at least one of you is going to be very into that. Okay, and we have strength. When your roots are deep, you need not fear the storm. I think that is probably, if I had to pick one word to describe your marriage, like the overall theme, I like strength. I do. I feel like both of you ignite the other person's inner strength, and both of you, like separately, you can take care of yourself. Like they can take care of themselves, you can take care of yourself independently, but then you come together and your roots merge together and you birth that magic, that strong tree that can weather any storm. You learn to move with the seasons, right? Like trees know how to live through the seasons, and they, those rings too, when you cut a tree and you see the life of the tree in the rings, and that calls back again to that Celtic cross and ancestral healing, these rings coming together, all of your past experiences merging into one, and that spiritual connection of a tree growing and, losing its leaves in the fall and birthing anew in the spring. Again, it's like you two know how to learn and how to grow together and come together as one, and being even stronger than you were before on your own. And yes, you can take care of yourself. You could cut off a branch of that tree and plant another tree somewhere else. Like the tree would go on, seeds from the tree could scatter and build new trees and new life and new growth. You could be fine separate, but together you are even stronger. And that's kind of the purpose of it all, is like, yes, I can take care of myself, but no one is meant to exist in isolation. And to have a partner who can help me on days where I'm struggling a little bit more than I typically am, and to be able to give that back to them when they need, because we all go through cycles, that are more challenging than others, and to have someone else be there as an anchor, as a root. I can grow even taller, right? Because I have that support. That's really beautiful. I think that's the overall message of your home life. And yes, that's really deep. It's not as practical and as straightforward of a message as like pile 1 was, or even pile 2. But I mean, this is what I'm seeing, okay? And then we have woods. Be like the woods, calm, soothing, and mysterious, and full of life. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery here. a lot of mystery. Like I said, it's not quite as straightforward. And I also, with the woods, it calls to mind that moon dragon as well. You know, the woods are dark at night. There's a lot of unseen things in the wood. You know, the woods are brimming with life, but we can't see it. It's enveloped in this darkness. But if we can follow the light of the moon, we can get through the woods. And that's sort of the idea. Like, in this marriage, you may only be able to see as far as, like, you know, a step in front of you. But as you continue together down this path, you will be okay. Because the light of their emotional support, the light of that moon will guide you, will act as a nightlight, and you do the same for them. It's like this beautiful metaphor that's unfolding here that is, yeah, I feel very fortunate to be able to give you this reading and to give you this message, because it is so beautiful, and it's a lot deeper than what I had expected for this reading. But you know, I feel privileged that your guides are coming through and, you know, giving me the space to express this to you as best as I can. Okay, so we will end this reading with two spiritual messages, two self-care messages from your future spouse's higher self. So we have hope is the conduit for miracles. This is actually my favorite card in the whole deck, I'm not gonna lie to you. And we have through prayer and meditation, I create a ripple effect of peace in the world. I almost feel like your marriage to this person is like a moving meditation, a moving prayer. Like, because you prayed for a marriage like this, because you prayed for a partner like this, maybe you've been praying for your soulmate, because you were blessed to have this marriage, to have this manifestation, this prayer come into fruition, it's like your life with this person unfolds like a moving meditation, a moving prayer. You become the embodiment of that prayer through this connection existing in the 3D. And it's still tied to the spiritual realm though, right? Because you manifested it, you prayed for it. It's a blessing from your spirit guides, through a blessing from the universe. And so I feel like because your soul is so nurtured by this connection, your future spouse's soul is so nourished by this connection, you two are able to create a ripple effect of happiness and peace in the world, because that energy comes together and then extends outward. And so you're able to give back to the collective in a way that is very beautiful. You know, you coming together and being happy and content and at peace with this person creates a ripple effect, like a butterfly, like a wing. You know, the wings of a butterfly create a ripple effect. The butterfly effect is coming through. And that reminds me of the very first card that we had, right? That Six of Pentacles, that giving back to others. You know, other people are really nourished by this connection, because either like your happiness extends outward to other people, or this marriage in and of itself allows people to believe in miracles, allows people to believe in soulmates, because you are an example of that. And you could even be potentially helping other people connect with their soulmates. And then we have hope is the conduit for miracles. If you're single, or if you're really struggling right now to hold on to your faith and believe in love, maybe you've been hurt a lot in the past, like I said, that generational trauma, or just exposure to partners who really didn't treat you well. This is just a soft, gentle reminder from your future spouse's higher self saying, listen, I know I'm not there with you yet in the 3D, but please don't lose hope, because the more you hope for me, the greater potential it is for me and you to connect, because this will be a miracle. How this person comes into your life is going to feel like a miracle. Okay, pile 3. Oh my gosh. That was a beautiful, beautiful reading. Thank you so much for allowing me to do this for you. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so you will know when I upload new videos. Please let me know in the comments that you chose pile 3, because wow, pile 3, man. And let me know if this resonated. And yeah, and let me know if you like this style of reading, if you would like more love readings, any suggestions. I'm definitely open to feedback. And yeah, please take care of Pile 3, and I will see you guys in my next one.